Hi, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erica. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. I would love to have you subscribe, like, comment, and if you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. So today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me. It's something that I've wanted to do since I started my channel, and I figured today is the day. I'm going to be using some makeup that I showed in my box of shame video, just brand new makeup that I have yet to touch. So let's get into it. I wanted to show you a few things before we get started. I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator in the shade Light Medium. I'm so excited. And then I have the Wet n Wild Big Poppa Mascara. Very excited to use this as well. On my lips, I'm going to be using the Colourpop Luxe Velvet in the shade Fatale. And then I also have my Ciate Bamboo Bronzer in the shade Pacific Island. I got this in my last BoxyCharm. And then to top it all off, I will be using the Natasha Denona Jubilee palette. And I just think this is such a beautiful color story, and I am quickly falling in love with Natasha Denona's formula. I mean, who isn't? So if you're interested to see how this makeup look turns out and you'd like to hear me talk about just some life stuff, please sit back, relax, and let's get started. All right, so I've already done my brows. I have discovered that I cannot talk and do my brows at the same time. That was an interesting thing to figure out once I started my channel. I don't really do anything exciting to my brows anyway. I mean, I have kind of fuller, bushier brows, so I basically just kind of fill them in with this item makeup. It's the Brow Chow Ultra Fine Defining Brow Pencil in the shade Warm Blonde. I got this from my Ipsy, and I love this stuff. It's so nice. And then I basically just cover that with a little bit of the Milk Makeup Kush Brow Gel in Clear. Kind of keeps my eyebrows from going da-doing, doing, doing. And so yeah, that's it. And I think what I'm going to do first is just start off with my primer. I'm going to be using the Mattify primer from Makeup Revolution. I love this primer. And the good thing about this is that I get pretty oily in my T-zone, and especially since I'm using kind of a lighter weight, the Tinted Hydrator, sometimes I can get a little oily or greasy looking, and this really helps kind of calm that down. So basically, just going to squeeze a little bit into my hand here. And I basically just put this just in my T-zone, on my nose, a little bit on my cheeks, on my upper lip, and my chin, and then on my forehead. And that's it. All right. And it's kind of that silicone-y feeling. It's very nice. I really like it. And I just think it works well to kind of keep my oils calmed down a little bit, especially like I said with the lighter coverage foundation. So there's that. And then I'm going to be priming my eyelids with the NYX Proof It. This is my all-time favorite eyeshadow primer. I just love it. Just comes with a little doe foot applicator. And I just put a little bit of this on my lids and just kind of smooth it out with my finger. So yeah, that's it. I've been planning on doing a get ready with me for a couple of weeks now. And I've been trying to think of something, just different things I could talk about while I put my makeup on. And the one thing that kind of kept swirling back through my brain was worrying, because I'm a huge worrier. I worry about everything. And I was thinking as I was driving home from work a couple weeks ago, that if I totaled up all the time that I have spent worrying about things in my life, I have probably lost days, weeks, maybe even months to worry. And I just don't want to do that anymore, you know? I want to try to come up with ways that I can kind of chill out with worrying. And, you know, some things are kind of inevitable that you're going to worry about. I mean, if you have family or loved ones or kids, or, you know, you're always probably going to worry about them. And it was funny because I had just decided that that's what I was going to do my get ready with me about. Oh, I'm going to be using some Makeup Revolution setting powder just to kind of set my eyeshadow primer. As I've aged, my eyelids have gotten a little bit more loose and kind of move around when I put my eyeshadows on. And if I go directly onto primed lids, doesn't work very well. It kind of makes my eyeshadow skip and stick. So this powder is very finely milled. I've had it for a long time and it works great. And I just kind of put a light coating of that over my eyeshadow primer and I'm good to go. Anyway, so I had decided this one night on my way home from work that I was going to talk about worry during my get ready with me. And literally that same night, My husband and I were just kind of laying down before going to sleep. We were watching The Walking Dead, which I don't know if any of you are Walking Dead fans, but we are huge Walking Dead fans. I think this is like the 3rd time we've been through the series. And I think we're on like season 4 now. But anyway, there's like 9 or 10 seasons. So we just laid down and my dad called me, which is not very typical of him. He doesn't really call me that late at night. I mean, it's only like 8 o'clock, but still, you know, he goes to bed around 8 o'clock. So anyway, I knew something was probably not good. And when I answered the phone, oh, now we're going to go into this. This is, the first shade I'm going to be using is Vintage Taupe. It's this shade here at the very end of the palette. And I'm going to be using my Jubilee brush, this one here. Here, let me show you a little bit better. This one here. There's no numbers on these. I got this off Amazon, so it's just kind of a smaller tapered blending brush. Anyway, so when I answered, oh, it's a little powdery there. When I answered, I said, hey, what's up? And he said, I am unable to get out of my chair in the living room. And I said, what do you mean you can't get out of your chair? And he said, well, I'm so dizzy that I can't stand up. He said, well, I need you to come over. And I said, okay, I'm on my way. So I raced over there, and as I was leaving, hold on, there's a little hair there. As I was leaving, my husband's like, do not drive like a maniac. And I'm like, okay. And then I just all the way over there. And my dad only lives like maybe a mile away. So I got there pretty quickly. And the paramedics arrived shortly thereafter. And to make a long story shorter, they took him to the hospital and they admitted him and decided that they needed to do a CT scan, a MRI, and an angiogram. So that determined that he had, it's a really long term, but basically that he had a weakness in an artery in the back of his brain that feeds the veins in the dura, which is the sac that surrounds your brain. And his brain was just not really excited about that. Anyway, so the doctor that had done his angiogram and his other scans said, you know, the best thing for this is to have surgery. And first my dad was like, yeah, no, I don't really want to do that. My dad has some other health concerns. He's got COPD, emphysema. He was a pretty heavy smoker, and he just felt like, you know, I'm 76 years old. Do I really want to go through a surgery, brain surgery? And the nurse and I, and also his brother, convinced him that, yeah, you do want to go through a surgery, because if you don't, this is going to become your new normal. And this isn't fun, so let's not do that. So he ended up having the surgery. It got postponed twice, which was a real bummer, because you kind of get yourself like worked up to have the surgery, and then they tell you, oh, actually we're going to do it tomorrow. And then we're going to do it like 5 hours later than we told you. So that was kind of a bummer. But he did finally have the surgery, and it was successful. They were able to go in and fix the damaged artery. It's actually called a fistula, and they placed, there was 2 that the doctor found actually, and they placed kind of like a glue type substance in one of the fistulas, and then they put a coil in the other one, which sounds very like what? Sounds like a lot. So anyway, he went home the next day, and his younger sister, sorry, came down. She lives about 2 hours north of us, so she came down and took care of him for a few days. The doctor wanted someone there for a week to 2 weeks, and he had her go home after about 4 days. So he's very stubborn, my dad. But he was feeling better, and he's still, you know, he's not 100%, but he is a lot better than he was. He's not nearly as dizzy, and he goes through bouts where he's not dizzy at all, which is great. He was using a walker when he first got home, and now he's no longer using the walker, so that's good. Yeah, I think I have enough down now. I don't know how well you can see that, but I think I'm happy with how that looks. So the next thing I'm going to do is go into this shade here, this black shade, which is called Enigma. Is that right? Yes, Enigma. So let me find a brush for that. This is my another Jubilee brush. This is just this brush here. It's a little bit flatter than that other one. Fluffy, but a little bit flatter. And I'll go into that black shade. Oh, actually, is it black? No, it's like a dark blue. Huh, well that's interesting. Okay, and I'm just gonna start by packing that on to the outer edge of the outer V here, just lightly. It's very pigmented, so I don't wanna put too much on there. So anyway, like I was saying, I was, you know, coming up with all these great strategies to not worry, and then I spent 2 weeks, 3 weeks worrying like crazy about my dad. And you know, like I said earlier, I do think that it's inevitable at some point in your life. You are going to worry about things. I mean, how could you not? And it makes sense that you would worry about someone that you love and care about, and you don't want anything bad to happen to them. But some of the things that I worry about are things that I have really no control over. And I mean, control is a totally elusive concept. I mean, what do we have control over? I mean, we have control over what we say, how we behave, our choices, but I mean, other than that, it's pretty much non-existent. And even our own physical bodies, we don't have a lot of control over. I mean, my dad certainly did not want to have a fistula form in his brain. And, you know, my daughter, who's 22, she was diagnosed a little over a year ago as a type 1 diabetic, which was very scary. She suffered from symptoms for about 6 months before she finally went to the doctor and dealt with that, because we just didn't know what was wrong. We didn't know what she had. And, you know, she didn't have health insurance at the time. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons, I guess. And she didn't always have horrible symptoms. I mean, sometimes she would, and then it would kind of get better. And I really would like for her, her name is Sydney. I would love for her to come on my channel and maybe we can do our makeup together and she can talk to you about her story, because I just think that would be really important and cool to have my baby come on with me. But you know, we just didn't have any idea what was going on. And it makes me wonder how many other people have been in that same situation, where, you know, something really major was happening and they didn't know for a long time and then finally found out. And so of course, you know, I worry about my daughter. My son, Braden, who is 19, he is a freshman in college and is not living with me. He lives about 45 minutes away, going to college. And, you know, I worry about him too. You know, is he going to his classes? Or, well, he has online classes, but is he attending his online classes? And, you know, are him and his roommate getting along? And how are he and his girlfriend doing? You know, is he eating? Does he have enough money? You know, all those things that you think about as a parent. And, you know, I'm married now. I'm going back into that vintage taupe shade. I'm just going to kind of blend that out a little bit. I was a single mom for most of my kids' lives. I'm married now. But I got very used to being in control of our lives and just, you know, doing everything my own way and doing things the way I wanted to do it. And so, you know, I think that's kind of what developed that control freak in me. And it's always been hard for me to ask for help or to let somebody else do something for me. That's hard. And I know that when my husband and I met, you know, and he would say, well, I'll do that. Oh, no, I'll do it. I can do it. I can do it. And he's like, well, I know you can do it, but can I at least help you, you know? And he understood. I mean, he understood where I was coming from. Yeah, I like that. That blue really threw me because I thought it was black. So that's kind of making me go, But anyway, we're going to keep going. Next, I'm going to go into this green. It's called Mint Frost, the shimmer right here. And I need to find a brush for that. And I think I'm just going to use these shimmers dry and just kind of see how they perform. And then if I use it again, maybe I'll try it with a sprayed brush or with glitter primer. I did say in another video that glitter primer is just not working for me these days. It's like really creasing my shimmers. I don't know what's going on, but anyway. Oh, and I'm using this, using this flat packing brush from Jubilee. Just gonna put some of that green shimmer down and just, ooh, wow. Just kind of go right next to that blue matte shade. Wow, that is gorgeous. So yeah, not having control over things is hard for me. But like I said just a little bit ago, control is a very elusive concept because does it really exist? I don't know. And the things that I worry about that I want to stop worrying about are like things in the future. I tend to worry about what's going to happen in a year or 5 years or 10 years. And I mean, I think that provides a benefit in some ways, because I think if you're, you know, conscious of your future and you want things to turn out okay, you know, you're probably going to make better decisions that are going to, you know, increase your chances of a good future. But I also think that nothing is promised to us. So to spend all this time worrying about what's going on down the road is sort of silly and doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And I just really don't want to do that anymore. So I'm just trying to think of some strategies to not do that. So what I've come up with, now I'm going to flip this over to the other side and go into this yellow shade here, this yellow shimmer, which is called Limoncello. Very nice. And then I'm just going to fill in the front part of my lid with that yellow shimmer. Ooh. Geez, these are nice. Wow. Just effortless. Effortless application. Oh, I love that. That is so pretty. So what I thought about doing was something that would kind of shift my attention to things that are more positive. And I thought, okay, I know what I can do. I can do a gratitude journal, because I've done those before. I remember years ago when I was going to counseling, my counselor recommended that I do that, because when you're a worrier, you tend to worry, obviously. But what happens is that you end up having kind of a negative viewpoint on things around you, your life and other people and your relationships. And so she was trying to get my focus shifted from negativity to positivity. And she felt like if I were to do a gratitude journal, that would really help. And it did. However, therein lies the problem, is that as I was filling out my gratitude journal, which basically you just want to pick like 5 things a day that you're grateful for, I was trying to like outdo myself every time. So I'd start off with the sun. I'm grateful for the sun because it provides us with life and feeds all living creatures and grows the trees and the grass and the flowers and blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, like it doesn't need to be that intense. And then how do you outdo the sun? The ocean. I'm grateful for the ocean because it provides life to all the creatures inside of it, and it provides us with our atmosphere, and it brings us water. And I mean, pretty soon I was just like, I can't outdo these things anymore. So I just kind of gave up on it. Now, it can be as simple as, I'm glad I found matching socks this morning when I was getting ready for work, or I'm grateful that I didn't slop half my dinner down my white t-shirt at dinner last night. You know, I mean, it doesn't have to be this like profound things that you're thinking of. It can just be simple things that you're grateful for. And, you know, I could probably find a happy medium in there somewhere. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to start doing that again, because I'm going to use my fingernail and just kind of add some more of that green mint frost shimmer in there. I love these shimmers. God, they're gorgeous. And also I remember a long time ago, and I don't remember who said this to me. Now I'm going to go with my finger with the yellow shimmer. Worry is a lack of faith. And I don't want anybody to think that I'm going to start preaching, because I will never preach about anything on my channel, religion, politics, nothing. No way. And you know, because I think that we all have a right to our own belief systems, whatever that may be for you. If you believe in a higher power, if you don't believe in a higher power, whatever that means to you. But what I'm getting at is not necessarily that, but having faith in yourself. I mean, it's such a huge part of being on this planet, is to believe in yourself and have faith that you can get through anything, and that you have the strength to get through whatever obstacle is put in front of you. Let's see, let me go back into, actually, I think I'm going to get a different brush to do this. I'm actually going to use this brush. This is another Jubilee brush. This is just kind of a blunt-ended little brush that I'm going to kind of add some more of that darker blue to the outer corner here. A little bit more concentrated. Anyway, to have faith in yourself is huge, because, you know, you do have the ability to get through anything and everything. It may not be what you want to get through. It may not be something that you enjoy going through, of course not. But I do think we all have what it takes to get through the harder times in life, because I have a feeling if you're sitting here watching this video, most of you have probably been through some tough stuff. I know I have. And that's why I really want to understand that when I'm worrying about things, I need to take a moment and realize that no matter what it is that I'm worrying about, whether it's realistic or not, that I will get through it. And I feel like we can all do that. We all have the ability to get through whatever is thrown at us. So, okay, I'm gonna take this fluffy brush again from Jubilee, go back into that vintage taupe shade, and then just kind of blend this out a little bit more. The shimmers are just jaw-dropping. Okay, so let's see here. Do I need to put some more? I think I am gonna put a little bit more of that limoncello shimmer down just right here. So I kind of lost a little bit of that. I'm putting that mint frost shade down a little bit more. And I really like that gradient that I have with the yellow, the green, and then the blue. That's really nice. That's really pretty. Okay, I like that. Maybe just a little bit more blending here. Trying not to make my face that makes me look like an owl. So I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. I'll be right back, and then I'll put my face makeup on with you guys present. Okay, so I cleaned up the bottom lower lash line there because it was getting a little fallouty, and I have my window open and there's this huge bug that's crawling on the window that looks like a lobster. I was like, what's that? Okay, so now let's go into the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. And I basically just apply this by putting a little bit on the back of my hand, just a little blob there. And then I just kind of slap it on with my fingers. Just kind of put a little bit down here. Ooh, I think this is going to be a great shade match for me. I try not to put a ton on, just to kind of not have it be too cakey looking. But it's a tinted hydrator, so I don't think I'm going to have a problem with that. Okay, and then I just kind of take the excess onto my Illuminati sponge that I got from BoxyCharm, and now I'm just going to blend that out. And try not to get it in my eyebrows. I do that all the time. I either get it in my eyebrows or in my hair. And then I just kind of run that along my face. And yeah, that's nice. It's pretty. It's very light coverage. I mean, it's a tinted hydrator, so it's going to be, which is fine with me because I've noticed that as I age, I don't really want full coverage. Medium coverage, yeah, I can handle that. Full coverage, no way. Because it just makes me look like the Crypt Keeper. Makes me look like a cakey mess. I don't like that. And those Jubilee brushes shed a little bit, so I'm getting some white hairs on my face. But anyway, as I was gonna say, is when I was younger and I was going to therapy, I remember my therapist saying something to me that made me really stop and think about what she said. That she said, you know, I think you worry so much because deep down, like subconsciously, you think that if you worry enough, that worry is going to turn the outcome the way you want it. And she said, I think that if you feel that if you don't worry about it, then the outcome's going to be what you don't want. And I thought, I don't know. I will be using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in the shade Ivory. I love this stuff. This is like my holy grail concealer, and it just kind of turn it and the product comes out of this little spongy top. And I just put a little bit here around my under eye area. Just kind of dab that on. And then I put a little bit on my nose, up into my forehead, just to kind of brighten that area. And then a little bit on my upper lip, and then on my chin. Okay, and then I'm just going to use a dampened little beauty blender sponge and just kind of work that into my skin. So at first, when my counselor first told me that, I thought, no, she has no idea what she's talking about. But the more I thought about it, I thought, yeah, you know, she probably has a little bit of a point here, because I think in my naive, immature mind, I probably thought that I had that kind of control and power over the situation, which, I mean, of course I didn't. What she said to me was, you don't have that kind of power. None of us do. So you really need to learn to let that go, because it's just not the case. I mean, the outcome's going to happen whether you want it to or not, and you have to be prepared to handle whatever outcome comes out of it. And she was right, you know. And she also taught me that staying in the present is very important when you're starting to worry and the worry is like almost becoming like a panic type situation, that you need to really stay in the moment, present in what's happening in your life in that moment. And she said, like, for instance, you know, if you're sitting in a chair, I want you to feel the chair. I want you to say out loud what the chair is made of, how it feels underneath you. If you're wearing, you know, your clothing, what does your shirt feel like? What color is it? Look around the room. What do you see? You know, like focus, really focus on what's in your immediate environment, because it just kind of forces your brain to flip into away from the worry and into really what's going on in reality. And that has been a huge help to me. So that was a great strategy that she gave me. And, you know, part of my worrying too, when I was younger, was I always worried so much about what other people thought about me. And that's really changed as I've gotten older, because you just learn, like, you can't please everybody. My mom used to say, you can please some of the people all the time and all of the people some of the time, but you can't ever please all of the people all of the time. And that is the absolute truth. So I just kind of learned that, you know, of course I want people to like me and I want to be friendly and kind and loving towards people, but there are going to be those people that you're going to run into in your life that are just never going to get that from you. You know, they're never going to appreciate you for all the great things that you are. And you don't need to kill yourself trying to make them love you and accept you. But it's still funny because, like, for instance, I did a video called Did They Make Me Buy It? And I talked about all the different makeup products that some of the creators that I watch, who I love and adore, influenced me to buy. And then I also talked about how much I love these people. And within about, I don't know, an hour of it uploading, somebody disliked my video. And I was like, oh my God, I was telling my husband, somebody disliked my video. I don't understand. He's like, who cares? Who cares? It's one person disliked you. So I get on the phone, I call my daughter. I'm like, will you please watch my video? Because I don't know, did I say something wrong? I don't know how anybody could not like this video. I mean, I was trying to, you know, just really express my love and gratitude towards these amazing people and show some really cool makeup. And so she's like, Mom, it's YouTube. It's YouTube, Mom. People are going to do that. And I remember when I was first starting or going to start my channel, my 19-year-old son was like, Mom, you got to understand, people are going to be so mean to you. And I can't handle that. I can't handle people being mean to my mom. But anyway, and so far so good. I mean, I have a very small channel and everybody that watches, all you guys are so kind and so sweet and so supportive. And it just means the world to me. I can't tell you the number of times that I've like cried because I've been so touched by some of the things you guys have said to me. So thank you very, very much. Okay, let's get back to the makeup too. I'm getting off track. I'm going to be using the Coty Airspun in the shade Translucent. This is my absolute favorite setting powder for my face. I basically just set my T-zone. The rest of my face is pretty normal. So I've noticed that if I set my whole face, it gets kind of cakey. So I just kind of use this to set my T-zone. I just put a little bit in the lid here. This is a Kala, just kind of a, I don't know, angled brush. I could not think of the word. And I just put a little bit in here. I do not set under my eyes anymore. I used to, but as I'm aging and I'm getting some more fine lines and wrinkles, that tends to look a little here. So I just stick to my forehead and my nose, kind of my upper lip and my chin. So I just put just a little bit of that down, not very much, just a little. And my hair is kind of in the way here. But yeah, so it's cute how my kids kind of reacted to, or my son kind of reacted to my YouTube channel starting. But anyway, you know, like I said, initially that really like hurt me. And I was like, oh, I kept thinking, did I say something wrong? And, you know, and I've looked at my other videos and a few of them have a dislike, and, you know, that's just the way life is. You can't please everybody. And, you know, it's still engagement. People that dislike your video, it's still engagement. So that's great. YouTube sees that as engagement, whether it's positive or negative. So, hey, why not? So I guess ultimately they're helping my channel, I guess. Now I'm going to use the bronzer, the Ciate Bamboo Bronzer. Let me grab a brush for that. I'm going to be using this. This is the Milani Powder Bronzer Brush. I'm just going to put a little bit on this brush here, tap it off, and then I just kind of work it into my cheeks. That's a pretty color. It's lighter than some of the bronzers I've used in the past, but I like it. It's pretty. Just kind of put it on my cheekbones, a little below my cheekbones, I guess. Just gonna work that in. And then I'm gonna put it on my forehead and across the bridge of my nose as well. But yeah, I just have learned that you just gotta be yourself. You have to be yourself, and you have to not worry what everybody else thinks of you. And I do remember too, being younger and having like a bad day in middle school, which, I mean, if you didn't have a bad day in middle school, God bless you, because holy cow, I had some doozies. I remember my mom saying to me, you know, no one's getting out of here unscarred. So all these people that are hurting your feelings, just know that they're dealing with their own scars as well. And at the time I remember thinking, okay, Mom, whatever, what do you know? And as I came to realize throughout my life, my mom knew a ton, and I learned so much from my mom. And she was right, you know, and I think that we all do have our scars. And I do think that some of those scars, gosh, my hair is going crazy, maybe contribute to our worries in some ways. But I also think that those scars also help to make us who we are. I mean, we are who we are because of our scars and in spite of our scars, you know? And I think that that's what makes us strong, and that's what gives us character, and that's what gets us through our worries and onto the next path that we're gonna go down in our life. So yeah, I don't know. I just think that you just gotta keep moving forward as best you can. And worrying sometimes keeps you stuck in a rut. And that's what I'm really trying to avoid, is just that stuck in a negative space. So that's really why I wanted to just kind of talk about this. And I would love your guys' suggestions too about worrying. What do you guys do to help yourself get out of that worrying rut? I'm gonna be using the Colourpop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Icebreaker. I thought this would complement the green shimmer in this look. I'm just gonna run that along my, oops, I think I'm bending forward too much. My lower lash line. I'm used to getting like right in my mirror when I do my makeup, so when I'm filming, it's kind of hard to remember to like sit back a little bit so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. And I just love these cream gel liners so much. They're so fun to use, and they last, and they're beautiful, and they add such a cool effect to your eye makeup, I think. So there's that. Now, let's do the lower lash line. This is just a kind of a flat, kind of blunt-ended packing brush. And I'm going to go into this shade here. This is called, I believe it's called Intense. Yes, Intense. Figured I would use all the shades in this palette. I'm just gonna run that on my lower lash line here. And I thought some pink would look pretty. I am gonna be using a different color alongside that as well, because I don't always love how pink looks on my lower lash line, because I think it makes me look a little sick. And you know, it's nice. I also, the thing that I really am very fortunate about is that I have a great support system. My kids are very supportive. My husband's very supportive. I have a great friend who I have had since I was 17. We went to high school together, and we talk on the phone a lot of mornings on my way to work, and she's just amazing. I love this woman. We've been through so much together. We know each other inside and out, and she's just always been there for me. And I am so grateful for that. And then, you know, I have people that I've met through my YouTube journey. I mean, friendships that I never, ever thought I would have in my life, and I have them. And I'm just so fortunate about that. And, you know, I share my worries with these people, and I share my stresses and my concerns, and they always have my back, and they always are very loving and caring and wonderful to me. And I just feel so fortunate that I have that. All right, now I'm gonna go into this Jubilee brush. This actually has a number, or no, this is Jessup, not Jubilee, Jessup 322. This is a brow liner brush, but I use this for my lower lash line. And I'm gonna go into this dark blue here and just put a little bit of that out on the corner here. Just kind of match that up with the upper lid a little bit. And I'm just gonna kind of bring that in to about halfway to the middle of my eye, not all the way to the inner corner, just a little bit more, because I don't want to lose that pink color. I think that's really cool looking. Yeah, that's pretty. I like that. Do that on the same on the other eye. So I think, you know, having a support system is huge. Huge, huge, huge. So, you know, if you have that, I think you should really utilize it. Like I said at the very beginning, you know, being a single parent, it was really hard for me to ask for help or to rely on other people to help me get through things, because I was just used to doing everything by myself. Now, I think I might add just a little bit more of that intense shade, that pink shade. Let's put a little bit more of that down to kind of make that blue look maybe not quite so harsh, but I don't want it to turn purple, because blue and pink make purple. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little brush, if I can find it here. Oops. Yes, this little brush here. This is, I think this is like, this is a Coastal Scents brush. I think this is like a little lipstick brush, but I use this to put the glitter on my lower lash line. So I'm going to take a little bit of that green Mint Frost and just place that right here on my lower lash line, like the inner corner. And I think part of the worrying problem too is that we are all our own worst critics. I mean, we all see ourselves so much more harshly than anybody else sees us. I remember my mom was getting ready to go to a wedding, and she was wearing this new outfit, and it was a dress, and she was so nervous about going to this wedding in this dress and what was everybody going to think of her. And she was so nervous before she left. And I remember when she got home, it was so cute. She said, you know, it was so funny. She ran into one of her friends that she hadn't seen in a long time. And she said they sat and talked all night about how they were so worried about what everybody else was going to think of them. And in actuality, everybody is so caught up in their own worries about themselves, they're not really even looking at anybody else. So I thought that was really interesting. And so she said, you know, from now on, when you're worrying about what everybody else is going to think of you, realize that everybody else is feeling the same way about themselves, and they probably really aren't giving a poo about what you're doing or how you look. They're too caught up in their own stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to go to blush. I'm going to be using this Ciate Marble Light blush in the shade Dusk. I love this blush. It's so pretty. And I thought this would be perfect with this look. So I'm going to be using this just random no-name blush brush. I have no idea where I got this. I think I actually may have stole it from my daughter. Sorry, sis. Love ya. And I'm just going to put a little bit of that down and then just swirl that onto my cheek, kind of over where I place that bronzer. And then I also put a little bit down my nose. And a little bit on my chin. Just swirl that on there a little bit. So I look like my face has been sun-kissed. At least that's what I tell myself. Okay. And I think that looks really pretty. And then I'm also going to use the Essence Pure Nude highlighter in the shade 010 Popping Champagne. I love this highlighter. And I've used it in a couple videos, and I've gotten a lot of compliments on it, which thank you. Thank you so much. Let me find a brush for that. This is just a little brush I used to apply highlighter. It's really cute. It's got these cute little gems on it. It's got this sparkly little handle. So I just, you know, put my brush in there and then just apply like so. And I just love this highlighter. I just think it's so pretty, and it's soft and subtle, but yet provides a really nice sheen to the face. I used to use really blinding highlighters, and I do sometimes, but when you age, you get some fine lines, and so then it just kind of looks, I don't know, a little odd. At least to me anyway. I don't know, maybe I'm just being too hard on myself, which I tend to do that. And that's something else, I'll touch on that really quickly, that, you know, I think is also kind of a source of worry, is just being so hard on yourself. And I mean, I've had people tell me that my whole life, you know, my husband especially, he's like, you're so hard on yourself. Like, you know, it's okay to make a mistake once in a while. Like, don't panic so much about it, or don't get so upset about it, you know, or you're not actually making a mistake. You're fine. You're doing great. But you know, I don't know. I wouldn't say that I'm a perfectionist because I don't think I am, but I do expect, I think, a lot from myself. And I think that kind of, I'm just going to go back over that with my blush brush so it's not too harsh in between the highlighter and the blush. It looks a little bit more melded together. But I do kind of expect a lot from myself, I guess. And so if I feel like I've made a mistake or screwed something up, it's like really hard on me. Okay, so I am going to go off camera and put on my eyeliner because I have to get right up in the right up in the mirror, and I can't do that and you wouldn't be able to see anything. So I'm going to put my eyeliner on and then I'll be right back. Oh, and before I go, I'm going to be using the Jubilee professional art makeup, and this is in the shade black. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna go put my eyeliner on, be right back. Okay, I'm back and my eyeliner is on. I love that stuff. Let me grab it one more time. This is the, like I said, Jubilee professional art makeup liquid eyeliner 24-hour. I just got this in an Ipsy and I've used it a few times, and oh, I love this stuff. And it's got a really nice felt tip applicator. See if you can see that very well. And it just goes on really easily. A lot of times with these, I notice that like I'll get one eye done and it's perfect, and then I'll go to the other eye and it's kind of dried out. This does not do that. So I was like, yay. Sorry, I just knocked something over. Okay, so now we're gonna be using the Big Poppa mascara. And I'm so excited to give this a try. Ooh, I love these kind of wands. It's kind of similar to the Essence mascara, but this is a little bit more maybe bushier. So let's give this, let me flip my mirror around. Give this a try. Oh yeah. Yeah. I like this a lot. This is a nice mascara. It makes my eyelashes look longer, which is always what I go for. And then it's also making them look fuller too. And it's not clumping, which I love. Put another coat over here. But yeah, this is really nice. I love this mascara. This is awesome. Oh, I may have a new favorite. And put a little bit more over here. And then I'll put some on my lower lash line as well, or lower lashes as well. Hopefully you guys can see me okay. I think so. But yeah, I like this. And yeah, I really like this mascara. What do you think? I love it. I love it. Okay, so now we're moving on to the lips. Let's do the Colourpop Luxe Velvet in the shade Vital. Okay, this is kind of like a dark nude mauve pink. Is that a thing? Ooh, I love liquid lipsticks. I'm such a huge fan of liquid lipsticks. I know they're not everybody's favorite. I know that they can kind of make your lips look maybe a little dried out, a little kind of, I think it kind of ages your lips sometimes. But the thing I love about it is that I can wear a mask with these and it doesn't come off. And you can eat lunch, you can drink coffee, you can kiss your husband goodbye for work. Although he would never do that with lipstick on my lips, so who am I kidding? But if he did, I can guarantee you it would not transfer onto his lips. It's so funny. He comes in every morning to tell me goodbye, and I'm putting on my makeup. And if like if I have any cream product on my face, he's like, okay, bye, love you. And if I don't, he'll actually give me a kiss goodbye. It's so funny. Okay. I love that too. I am very happy with everything that I use. So let's recap quickly, shall we? Okay, I did use the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator in the shade Light Medium. I think it looks really nice. Of course, I kind of want to see how it lasts throughout the evening. It's already like 4 o'clock in the evening, so I'll probably only have this on for, well, it depends. If we go for a walk tonight, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna leave this on when my husband and I go for our walk tonight, and we'll see how it does under some real pressure, because it's kind of humid outside. We'll see how it lasts. But I really like the coverage. It's very light, which is exactly what you want in a tinted hydrator. Remember that, it's not a foundation, it's a tinted hydrator. And so I really like the coverage. I like the shade, I think it looks really nice. I love the bronzer. This is the Bamboo Bronzer in the shade Pacific Island from Ciate. I really like that. It's a little lighter than what I would normally go for. I do like a little bit of a darker bronzer, but I mean, I think it's nice and I will definitely use it again. Let's see, what else did I use that was new? Natasha Denona. Now, I feel like kind of a ding dong that I thought this was black because it's like a dark blue. So that kind of threw me for a loop. But I think the eye look turned out really pretty. This taupe, vintage taupe shade, I don't know. It just doesn't show up very well on my lids, but you know, I think it helped me blend out that darker blue shade. So I think that looks nice. It doesn't look too harsh or anything. So yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. But honestly, the stars of the show for me were these two shimmers. Ooh, delish. So yeah, I think those look really pretty on my lid, and I just used them dry. I think they would be even more fabulous with a wet brush or maybe even a glitter primer. So keep that in mind. And then the big Poppa. I love this mascara. The Lash Princess, or no, yeah, the Essence Lash Princess is my absolute favorite. That and Benefit Roller Lash, and this baby, this is right up there with them. So I cannot wait to use this again and again and again. I know this is gonna become a favorite mascara of mine, I can already tell. And then everything else I've pretty much used more than once, except Colourpop Luxe Velvet and Fatale. I really like this. It's very comfortable. I don't feel it on my lips. It's not bugging me. It's not sticky. And I think it looks actually pretty nice on my lips. I don't think it makes me look like the Crypt Keeper. Yay! Woo! So anyway, I hope you really liked watching this video, that you liked the finished look. And I hope that you found what I talked about interesting. And if you have any advice for me about worrying or just strategies that you use in your own life that kind of help you just kind of chill out and find your zen, I would really appreciate hearing what those suggestions are. Please feel free to list anything and everything in the comment section. I absolutely love talking to you guys there, and I've really gotten to know you and have just developed some really cool relationships and friendships with you guys. So thank you so, so much. I appreciate your time, that you spent some time out of your day or evening to watch my video. It always means so much to me, and I definitely look forward to seeing you in my future videos. If you have subscribed or you'd like to subscribe, do not forget to hit the notification bell. That way you're aware of all of my future uploads. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you guys are well, taking good care of yourselves, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!